President Paul Kagame noted that with the continent's young tech-savvy population, Africa can compete with the rest of the world and successfully innovate as fintechs continue to dominate in the startup ecosystem. The head of state reiterated this at the official opening of the second edition of Inclusive FinTech Forum held in Kigali, Rwanda. Adam Squizera with more on the report.
Embracing fintech in Africa requires providing adequate opportunities for youth, primarily through government programs focused on enhancing their knowledge and skills. Evelyn Kalungu, Chief Executive Officer of Lupia, highlighted that many young women and youth across the continent still face significant obstacles in accessing digital financial services, primarily due to lack of knowledge and awareness.
And because majority of these transactions happen in cash, it is still very difficult to credit score a small business. So with just $500, my co-founder and I set out on this bold ambition to build the next AI-powered bank for small businesses in Africa, allowing them to have access to loans, investments, and payment opportunities.
Alvin Tan, Minister of State at the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth, highlighted Africa's immense potential as one of the fastest growing regions globally, driven by its youth and entrepreneur population.
We believe that Africa can set a new standard for digital payments to unlock financial inclusion, catalyze fintech, accelerate economic integration, and drive sustainable growth. Your Excellencies, our dear friends, in an increasingly fragmented world, we have the opportunity to build bridges, address infrastructure gaps, harmonize regulations, and work together across borders and sectors. Because as Nick mentioned earlier on, only by doing so can we harness the immense potential of fintech to transform Africa's financial landscape.
The Secretary General of the ACFTA, Wamkele Mene, stated that Africa is making significant strides in the fintech sector. He also emphasized that several protocols have been signed by member states to empower women and youth by enhancing the access to financial technology, fostering greater economic inclusion across the continent.
First, the protocol on women and youth in trade. A protocol that I'm particularly proud of because it takes the continent of Africa beyond expressions of aspirations about empowerment for young people and empowerment for SMEs that are led by women. It actually takes us in the realm of legally binding commitments to break down barriers that prohibit market access, that prohibit growth of businesses that are led by young people and women.
While technology presents enormous potential for Africa's economic growth, President Paul Kagame stated that the continent is experiencing brain drain, with many of the skilled developers leaving Africa to work abroad. He noted this as leaders' weakness.
Africa is experiencing a brain drain, with many of our skilled developers leaving our continent to go work abroad. Well, this is really not entirely their problem. They cannot be blamed for that. I think we should be able, some of us, the leaders, to take the blame, partly. Financial inclusion also remains a challenge, and for those who need it the most, particularly women in the informal economy. All of this is happening in the context of global financial constraints. We need to see this as an invitation to put our resources to better use and support each other.
The head of state expressed confidence in the trajectory of digital development and urged all stakeholders to work together as one team to build a more connected and inclusive future.
The story we just heard of the young innovator from Zambia should inspire every entrepreneur to think big, act boldly, and stay focused. Indeed, with our continent's young and tech-savvy population, Africa can compete with the rest of the world and successfully innovate. When you look at our continent's startup ecosystem, fintechs continue to dominate. In recent years, the number of fintech companies in Africa has also tripled. These enterprises, big and small, are fundamentally reshaping our financial services sector.
Figures indicate that financial institutions offering technology-driven financial services in Africa nearly tripled between 2020 and 2024. This growth led to companies generating between $4 billion and $6 billion in revenue in 2020. Projections suggest that by 2028, profits from fintech will reach $40 billion.